Hello learners, welcome to the course MSD 012 Ecosystem and Natural Resources. Today, I would like to give you a brief overview of this course on its contents. We know that sustainable development is about way of development that take care about the present generation and future generation. If we look into the basic foundation of sustainable development, we have environment and ecological as one pillar, then society or social pillars as second pillars, and the third pillar is economy. And we usually take institution is also the fourth pillar. If you look into those pillars, all the pillars are interrelated to each other. And one of the very important pillars, without that, it is very difficult to achieve sustainable development, is environment or ecological foundation. So, to maintain the stock of this ecological foundation, because what if the pillars we are talking about, other pillars are directly depend on the stock and status or health of ecological foundation. So we need to follow, or we have to utilize the natural resources in a very wise or very wisely. What we can say is that without efficient use of natural resources, our dream of a sustainable planet may not be able to fulfill. The learning principle of this course is to provide opportunity to the learners to deepen their knowledge and understanding about the concept of ecosystem and natural resources, to expand capacities to the learners on various theoretical and practical aspects of sustainable management of natural resources, to develop professional knowledge and skills in biodiversity conservation and natural resource management. And few of the learning outcomes are defining, you will be able to define the concept of ecology, ecosystem and its type. Is an interdisciplinary learners. You may be from different basic academic background, but as an interdisciplinary learner, you will be able to define in a very simple language about the concept of ecology, ecosystem, and its type. You will then understand the ecosystem services, importance of biodiversity, factors responsible for biodiversity loss, and the conservation and management of biodiversity. Explain the concept of land, soil, water as a resource from an integrated perspective. So, the program framework of this course, if we look into the structure of our open distance learning system of IGNOU, it will have 4 blocks. First block on ecosystem biodiversity, second block is on land and water resources, third block is on energy and mineral resources, block 4 is on agrobiodiversity. This 4 block is divided into different units, and it will be spread into, if you look into that structure week-wise, will be spread into 12 weeks. In week 1 to week 4, the first 4 weeks, you will learn about ecosystem and biodiversity. In block 2, about land and water resources, week 5 to 6, from week 7 to 9, energy and mineral resources, about energy and mineral, week 10 to 12 on agrobiodiversity. In this course, there will be 4 quadrants. first quadrant will be on, we'll find out the self-learning material in PDF format, and you can download easily. Second, the next quadrant is videos with updated information, including related to sustainable development goals. Because if you look into that, when you talk about videos, we are trying to update that latest progress in that area, which is provided in self-learning material through videos. And the videos will be provided with PowerPoint, PPT slide you can download. Then third quadrant is on discussion forum. You can use the discussion forum to share, to clear your doubt, or to share your opinion, or to discuss any of the areas which is not able to clear the concept after studying in self-learning material, or after watching your videos. So you can use that discussion forum. Then the fourth quadrant is evaluation through assignment and term examination. If we go into detail now, block 1, as I told you, I'm talking in open distance learning pedagogy. It will be spread over 4 weeks. Major objective of this block 1 is to understand about ecology, ecosystem and its types, and to learn the concept of ecosystem services, importance of biodiversity, factors responsible for biodiversity loss, and conservation and management of biodiversity. So the first week, if you look into the study material, you will find out that is on concept of ecosystem. So in this unit, in this week 1, you will be taking to study about concept of ecology, ecosystem, structure and function of different typical ecosystem. In this week also, you will learn an insight about some important ecosystem services and provide information about the impacts of human on ecosystem services. In week 2, we are going to learn about biodiversity, its levels, distribution, usage. And when in the process of learning to understand biodiversity, level, distribution, usage, then you will be able to understand the insight about the concept of biodiversity, its evolution, status and distribution pattern. Moreover, if you look into self-learning material and after watching the different videos, you will find that the main focus of this particular unit, in this particular week, you will be able to know about the importance and the use of biodiversity. In week 3, we are going to learn about loss of biodiversity, and in this week and 3 weeks, in this week 3, will take you to the issues of loss of biodiversity, its causes and consequences, the magnitude and pattern of biodiversity loss, and also takes you to the factor responsible for biodiversity loss and its consequences. In week 4, while we are trying to understand the basic concept of biodiversity conservation, you will also learn about approaches and programs of biodiversity conservation, different national and international programs related to biodiversity conservation. In block 2, which is spread over from week 5 to week 6, or land and water resources, it discusses about the concept of land, soil and water as resources. So in week 5, you will learn the concept of land as a resource and how unsustainable land use practices is happening, and the various ways of sustainable land management and the challenges associated with it. At the same time, you will also learn the concept of soil, its characteristics, its formation, and the sustainability associated related to soils and its problem. 6 weeks, you will learn about water, its status, distribution, quality, and competitive uses. So in this week, you will learn about the importance of water as a precious resource, its physical and chemical unique properties, and different types of water pollution. Information about the consumption impacts water pollution at different scale within states and countries, and transboundary issues will also be learned. An insight about the impact of economic development on global water resources, individual and national and international efforts and conflicts that regarding water issues or water sharing will also be learned in this week. Moreover, you will have a brief introduction about what are the impacts of climate change on water resources. Will also be learned in this 6 weeks. From week 7 to week 9, you will learn about energy and mineral resources and a study material. This attempt to understand or to make you understand about the importance of natural resources, resource management, type of energy resources, non-renewable and alternative resources, mineral resources, and sustainable issues related to energy and mineral resources. So, in week 7, while you are trying to understand the renewable and non-renewable resources, you will be able to understand the concept of natural resources and their importance, global availability of resources, consumption patterns of different forms of resources, renewable and non-renewable resources. In week 8, we learn about alternative energy resources, its various types, problem of utilizing various non-renewable resources, alternative source of energy in various ways by which our energy demand could be minimized. So in week 9, we are going to learn about mineral resources, usage pattern, and issues. In that process of learning all those concepts of mineral resource, usage pattern, and issues, we will be able to understand an insight about the pattern and causes of mineral demand, the factor affecting mineral exploitation, classification of mineral resources, generation and management of different types of waste due to mining activities. Then you will be able to discuss about ecological, environmental, and social impacts of mining. In addition to that, you will be able to learn the resource use pattern, sustainable uses of a resource, and various links associated with resource use depletion, environmental degradation, and sustainable issues, etc. in this week. From week 10 to 12 means that in that the major focus of your learning objective is to understand agrobiodiversity, factor responsible for depleting agrobiodiversity, sustainable use of agrobiodiversity, and sustainable management of biodiversity. In week 10, specifically in week 10, when we are trying to learn about importance of agrobiodiversity, we will be taken an overview, or you will be able to learn an overview about the basic concept of agrobiodiversity, importance, implication of agrobiodiversity for sustainable agriculture and climate changes. And week 11, The basic focus is after learning about your basic concept of biodiversity in week 10. Now, in week 10, you will be able to learn about a comprehensive picture of different aspects of agrobiodiversity laws, factors that are responsible for depleting status of agrobiodiversity, effects of different agricultural practices on agrobiodiversity, and existing gaps in the current knowledge in current status. So in week 12, last week of this course, the major focus will be on sustainable use of agrobiodiversity, its challenges and opportunity, and will take you an insight of different aspects of sustainable use of this particular resources agrobiodiversity, different issues related to sustainable use of that plant and animal genetic resources and their implication on food security and farmer livelihoods. Then we will be able to learn legislative framework related to protection of plant varieties for fair and equitable sharing of benefits arising from the commercial use of agrobiodiversity in global and in Indian context. The role of community in agrobiodiversity conservation will also be properly reflected and will also be properly learned in context of agrobiodiversity. The implication of current global pattern of development of agrobiodiversity, the complex socio-economic issues, and identify major challenges and opportunities which have potential role to decide the future scenario of agrobiodiversity will also be learned in this week 12. It also tries to explore the alternative ways towards sustainable management of agrobiodiversity. So in 12th week, you will learn those basic concepts of ecosystem and natural resources. The assessment methods of this course is, continuous evaluation in the form of that compulsory assignment with a weightage of 30% and a term examination with a weightage of 70%. So enjoy the 12 weeks concepts of the process of learning and become an expert, or I can say that try to explore more on basic of natural resource management. Thank you.